rumble.
Hello and welcome to MotorCult episode 58. I'm Eric Berger, joined as always by the interrupting cow in the room, known as Ryan Sinitsky. Hello, sir.
Interrupting cow in the room. That is me. Yeah.
So we had a little bit of an absence, but we are back. Where were you again? You were in Georgia?
It's Georgia, Alabama.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, it was no bueno.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, even like, I was in Texas, a couple parts. I went down to Dallas first, and then I went down to Austin, then I went back up through Fort Worth, through the, obviously, center of the country, straight up.
Yeah.
And like, even Dallas, like, it's not that bad.
No.
No.
It feels like Lakeville. The whole thing just feels like Lakeville.
They're fine to visit, but I would not want to live in.
Right,
Well,
absolutely.
So this is the thing with Alabama and Georgia, though. I would want to live in Georgia. I like Atlanta. Atlanta's really nice.
Yeah.
Um,
It's got a lot of donks in it, too, which I like.
yeah, it's actually is probably the. If you don't understand donk culture at all, go to Georgia and
Dude,
like
it's intense.
go there with an open mind and you will understand it.
I thankfully came in at like midnight on Friday night, and I was hungry, so I found a Chinese place open until 3 a.m.
Holy hell.
And we're like, oh, let's go there. That's perfect timing. Whatever. We don't have to worry about rushing the staff. And we get there, and it's in a parking lot surrounded by 3 or 4 different clubs. So we saw a lot of donks there because that's where everybody was.
I haven't done the research on what the main meat is called, but it looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It also looks slightly unsafe, but like I would be willing to risk it.
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It, people probably say about street racing too. I think you're just not used to it.
Could be.
But what I
They
will
got
say,
food trucks, so I'm good.
there is something that Alabama has going for it that is nobody ever talks about.
What is that?
It is seriously underpopulated.
Oh, okay.
But that's the thing. That means that you don't have the infrastructure to build big ass freeways everywhere.
Yeah.
So you do have your freeways. I like crisscross through
Oh,
most
the
of
interstates.
Alabama.
Yeah.
But they have the best highways, like side roads and like byways, like just really, really good driving roads. I think it was 78 was the one we took.
Yeah, we took 78 all the way from
'Cause
Anniston to Atlanta.
The one highway that goes from Atlanta to Birmingham, which passes by Anniston, where I was in Alabama, they were down to one lane for like 30 miles.
Oh yeah, Waze told me they were going anywhere between 10 to 13 miles per
Yeah,
hour.
screw that.
Yeah, for 30 miles, not worth it.
No.
So, yeah, we took 78, which is the byway that's directly next to it.
Which his mom told us used to be the only road out, like to and from Birmingham.
And it was a really kick-ass road. All the corners are banked like a speedway
Nice.
and everything.
Oh yeah, they're racing their NASCARs out there on the weekend.
No, they turn right as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So
it's
they're
weird.
doing the Indy track. Then.
Yeah, the Indy track. Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
So, no, a lot of banked corners. Off camber turns, chicanes,
Nice.
and
Were the roads reasonably well
switchbacks.
taken care of?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
really, really well taken care of. Like it was
Nice.
I kind of like did some looking on Google Maps of like where I'm gonna be driving,
Yeah.
and so like when I got the rental car, I didn't just go with
Oh yeah, what
like
were you driving?
I got a Nissan Altima actually.
2.5 CVT?
Yes, but the chassis is what I got it for because I'm like, would I rather have that or an Impala?
It's equally bad.
Well, the Altima will handle better than the Impala, so that's why I chose that.
I see.
But no, it was a really good driving road. I really wish I had like any other car on earth to enjoy it.
Yeah,
Fair
it was great being down there with my amazing Midwestern accent.
Oh, they all think it's adorable.
They
yeah,
really
the
did.
first thing I got asked, or one of the first statements spoken to me was, "Man, I really love that movie Fargo," and I was like, "Oh yeah, you betcha!" And they're like, their eyes lit up. They're like, "Oh my god!" I stood
It's
out.
incredible.
Pander to your audience.
I met a friend of mine, Elena, down in Austin when I was down there, and I hadn't seen her for like 4 years. She's a Minnesota resident that's transplanted down there. She's like, I'm dating this guy right now, and he thinks my Minnesotan accent is adorable.
Oh,
I'm just like, really? I think their accent's fucking horrible.
Yeah, no, I had that a lot, like, cause like I travel quite a bit, and like everyone's always like, you've got the cutest accent, and I'm like, do I? Like, I
mean,
don't.
Obviously, we don't hear it.
Yeah.
But
Oh no, you do. If you sit down on the channel long
well,
enough,
and if
she'll
I get
let it just
excited,
go.
like no holds barred. I am
Oh my
full on
God.
Fargo for sure. But like when I'm just talking regularly, I
Yeah.
do try to keep it a little more neutral.
I try, but like speaking with kids and stuff, I
Oh,
hear
yeah.
it slip up
I
so
know.
much because all my students
I
are from
know.
like
You have to consciously like not do it.
You do.
Yeah.
You
That's
have
the
to
thing.
think really hard to keep
Yeah,
all
so-
of your diction as
and
consistent
of
as possible.
of course my favorite thing to say is oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But so
You know.
Oh yeah.
when
you
we
know.
were in Alabama, went there for a funeral. It's not that big of a deal. We kind of saw it coming for like the last 5 years.
She was like a million years old.
Yeah, she was, so it's fine. But anyway, my cousin or my mom's cousin, so I guess my cousin too, Mitchie, was
That is their actual name?
his name is Mitchell,
Mitchell.
but they've
Okay.
always called him Mitchie.
Mitchie.
He's like 65, but he was there and he did the service. He's an ordained minister for the Baptist Church.
Okay.
And
I am not.
if you want to know what he looks like, imagine like Charlie Daniels dressed up as an Amish person.
I don't know who Charlie Daniels is.
That went down to Georgia, like that song.
I know who. I know the song.
Yeah,
But, like, I don't
but
know what he
anyway,
looks
Charlie
like.
Daniels, a fat Southern guy with like a beard like down to his belly button.
You know, we've got this internet
yeah.
here.
Look at what Charlie Daniels looks like. He looks like Charlie Daniels, and he was wearing like this like Civil War-esque like linen half button down shirt.
Oh yeah, he looks
Yeah.
like Santa Claus with a cowboy hat.
Yeah, but
Yep.
like a bigger, much bigger beard, because this beard like literally went down below his nipples.
Yep.
Not in any of these pictures.
Well, no, my cousin Mitchie.
Oh, okay.
So
Is he that old?
yeah, they're
Yes.
about the same age. Yeah.
Okay.
So Mitchie did the service.
Okay.
He had a harmonica. He played a hymn on a harmonica.
And
A
Old
hymn
Lang's
harmonica?
Eye. Most importantly, he played Old Lang's Eye on
I don't know what
harmonica.
that is.
It's for all the same.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
okay.
So and then
that
there was a Civil War reference, a Confederacy reference.
For goodness sake.
Yeah, you had to have that. You couldn't not have it.
God bless that we are all Christians in a room with two Jewish men.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
But
Would I have been tarred and feathered and hanged?
no, they're
No, they were really
they're
nice.
really nice people. They're just they're very Christian. You have to understand this is a
I
place
was
in the-
raised Christian. Does that help?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm
Okay,
Jewish.
cool.
I'm
I-
outwardly Jewish there. So
I
Yeah.
couldn't tell by looking at you,
I know,
Ryan.
right?
I was an outcast and I was raised Catholic, so
Fair enough.
If that
It's pretty intense, then.
But-
I gotcha.
So
I'm a pariah.
when I was down there, if anybody understands why they call it the Bible Belt, we drove to my Uncle David's house.
How many gigantic scale crosses did you see from roadways, by the way?
not that many.
Two or three. Yeah.
Oh, I saw
However,
a ton.
on a 15-mile long road to my uncle's house from the highway,
Yeah.
I saw 19 churches and a Buddhist temple.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. It was a, it was
That
a,
was in Atlanta though.
yeah, it
so-
was it was a
Okay,
liberal part of
it's a
town.
little more
It was a
progressive.
liberal part, but literally more than one church per mile. It was
And
crazy.
I was telling Ryan's mom Jimmy that like when I'm in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota doing my archaeology stuff, Minnesota, if my cell service kicks out, I'm fucked. There's only farms. And,
Yeah, no, yeah.
You know,
Even with like the two different cell phone carriers I carry, like there were
Exactly.
points on this drive of mine even.
yeah.
I'm
and-
35, Interstate 35, where I had no service.
But in Alabama, there's all these people just living in the middle of nowhere, and like,
Sorry.
That's all right. I'm just turning down your microphone briefly.
and like, there's always like a church within like eyesight. So I was like, if my cell phone goes off here, I'm fine.
Right.
That's also.
Sorry, yeah, it's bad.
That's also not a exaggeration when you say there's always a church within eyesight.
Oh yeah.
Like there is a church at all times within eyesight.
So
Well,
like,
you gotta be around to get drunk and then go praise the Lord Jesus.
yeah, and we were driving back on a Sunday, and nothing was open.
Yeah,
We struggled to
nothing
find
was
a
open.
gas station that was open. The first
I've only
gas
run into
station,
a closed gas station once on an interstate.
Oh, this one is like most of them.
Most
like
of
there
them.
is, yeah, most.
we
of them
had
are
to
closed in
drive to
Alabama.
Georgia
incredible.
before we found an open gas station.
And by incredible, I mean absolutely horrible.
But no, I asked my cousin Mitchie about it. The Charlie Daniels
love
guy.
that name.
Yeah, that's a great name. And he said he actually gave me probably the best response. Oh, also, he's very excited that his church finally got a cemetery added onto it, so that's good. He started his own. He
That
built
sounds
his own church.
Pretty morbid.
But anyway, so it was a big development in the town. He like lives in a town of like 3 or something.
Even smaller than where I grew up. I
Yeah. So, no, he said the reason we need all these churches out here, you see, is because we got so many sinners. This is the most sinful place in the country, and this is why we need all. And that's exactly why you keep hearing about Florida Man, because everybody in the South is just like Florida Man, and that makes sense why they need those churches. It's a matter of necessity.
We got so many sinners out here. You see?
It is a matter of necessity.
We were the least sinful,
That's
I'm sure.
fairly incredible. Well, okay, yeah, I can see that. But you guys aren't devout Christians, so that makes sense.
No. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Catholic, so obviously I'm going to hell. So that's
Catholicism is the devil.
So anyway, we've heard a lot about Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, I was a little
And church.
inattentive just because I was trying to pull up my. I think I took a couple of clips of like the racetrack and stuff when I was at Coda. But
Oh, you went to Coda?
yeah, so the main reason going down to Austin, other than visiting a couple of friends, was to visit a vintage race at Circuit of the Americas, which had a couple of the people I met in Monterey.
Oh, cool. All
So
right.
I ran into these people again, which was super cool. So Steve, the one with that E30 M3 Sport Evo, he was
Yes.
there.
Oh, excellent.
And I'm digging this up. I've got a video that hasn't published yet. I'm trying to figure out how to get to that.
What was that Clark Tug Old Start Fart and Drive?
Yep.
Was that from Coda?
No, it wasn't. But that tug is amazing. It's a 1947 Clark tug with a dogleg non-synchronized 3-speed manual.
That's why it's dogleg.
Correct. And like the parking brake's got like that big extra handle thing on it that you gotta click. So I'm gonna. It says encoding's overloaded, but I'm gonna try to leave this running in the video while I talk about. Anyway, so I flew down to Dallas because I had bought a 2000 BMW M5 probably a month and a half ago, and my buddy Brandon Meyer, who used to live up here, looked at it for me, test drove it, did the whole thing of bringing the cashier's check to the guy, bringing it back to his house. He was gracious enough to do the master cylinder on it and a couple other little things it needed. Please ignore the crinkling bag. There are cheese curds being ingested.
They're
So-
all yours.
All right. Thank you. But anyway, I got down there. We flew first class just for giggles, as you can see on the screen. It was Halloween, so all the Lyft
look how
drivers things
spooky
were
they are.
ghosts, which was adorable.
That's awesome.
That's
And
so
I
spooky.
figured out that if I put my phone on hotspot in the airplane, we could use it as a wireless router and play Diablo 2 LAN
So if
between
you have,
Corey's
Yes.
computer
so you,
and mine.
you can have airplane mode on and still use hotspot,
Yeah, it doesn't make
and
any sense.
then it just becomes a. That's great.
Yeah.
That is the most perfect thing.
So
I tried
you've
to do
now
it through
sold
the
me on
airplane
an
Wi-Fi.
iPhone.
Oh, they're great. Yeah, but so anyway, there's the car. Sorry, I'm still eating. Tasty.
They're delicious.
They are. So I went to Whataburger first. I'd never been to one of those. That was pretty good. It's a lot like a
In and
a
out.
little cheaper In-N-Out.
It looks like it. I saw the color of that bun. I'm like, that looks like In and Out.
Oh,
White,
look at her.
kinda
spooky
yellow.
shirt. Is that Brimley?
That's Brimley and Spooky. So my buddy has
Aw.
cats, and then my other buddy Aaron, who helped me out with the 2002 and stuff, he was there,
Wow.
and he brought his buddy from Colorado, and he had like a Cam Z06 on a trailer or something like that. That's pretty
Tesla.
cool.
Oh yeah.
I
You
saw like a
Tesla
weird
coil.
Tesla coil sitting out in the middle of the world, and after spending a night and a half. Sorry for the eating, guys. I really am. After spending a day and a half with Brandon and Bethany down there, partying a little bit, we just hopped in the car, went to the nearby Waffle House, and then beelined for Austin. When we got to Austin, I was sitting in a little bit of traffic just because it was like 3 o'clock on a weekday or something. And I noticed the temp gauge, which had been sitting at like 1/3 the entire day, came up to the middle.
Oh no.
Oh.
Ooh, that ain't good. So I like hit the throttle a little bit and it comes right back down. I'm like, this thing's low on coolant. A mile later, we park up at this. It's a condo of Peter Francis, who was with me. It's his buddy. Down
Okay,
there. Super
yeah.
nice guy. He let us stay with him. But anyway, I open up the hood in his parking lot, and I see a 2-inch crack in the side of my radiator tank,
Oh no.
and it's like dribbling coolant out of it. I'm like, well, that probably won't make it 1,300 miles without serious problems. I mean, we'd just driven 300, but I mean,
Still,
we're gonna go through the heart of the Bible Belt in the middle of the night. I don't want to mess with that. So
you're going
No church is gonna
eastbound.
say-
there's
Save
the
you.
crack.
We're going eastbound.
Well, we were going from Dallas to Austin, so technically we were going southwest.
Oh well, I guess as like the edge of the Bible Belt.
Well, 35 still goes through it.
Yeah, that 35
But it's the
goes to
western
the
edge. Yeah, for sure. So
because it really is kind of like just like it's like Georgia. Well, I guess the Carolinas through Texas. Yeah.
right. So I filled it up with bottled water without fixing it. Took Corey to Coda, and we spent a day in the pits there. We pretty much got sunburned, and we saw Steve, the guy with that E30 M3 Evo. He had his 2002 and his E9 CSL there.
Oh, he had one of the Batmobiles.
Yeah, he has a Batmobile.
Oh, cool.
There should be a photo in here. Hopefully, there it is.
Oh, he's at that Batmobile.
That's his
Okay,
Batmobile. Yeah. So that one had an issue. It ran into something and broke a strut.
Does
in his
that say
last race.
BMW Luigi?
That's the car's name, Luigi.
Yeah, Luigi.
That's
you,
so
You
cute.
never noticed that?
No, that's really
The
cute.
car's
I
name is
pointed it out to
Luigi.
you
Yeah.
like 5 times.
I think you did in hindsight.
It's
but
kind
I
of a
just-
cute name.
I
But
love
anyway,
the
Steve is a
Kind
super
of.
nice guy. It was qualifying day, so we really didn't see him like going balls to the wall. And we couldn't come back the next day because I was busy changing out the radiator. But he ended up winning first
Oh,
place in
great.
both of his races with
Luigi.
the B sedan for the 2002,
Yeah.
and then also whatever race the CSL was running in. So congrats to Steve. I still have to send him a couple of videos, but
Yay, Steve.
after that, I literally just swapped out the radiator, which huge props to Blunt Tech. They overnight prioritied me a radiator.
That's
I got it
amazing.
Saturday
Excellent.
morning.
Good job.
That's great.
Clap.
All the other places had like their shipping cut off past already, so it would have been Monday.
Oh
which
God,
no.
but
would've
no,
been
that's
tough.
amazing customer
Because my
service.
solar company, in their infinite wisdom, even though I told them I was going to be gone these days, booked my install for that Monday.
Oh no.
So I had to come back a day and a half early just to let them into my house. Also take another day off work, which was pretty cool. But anyway, Coda was amazing. Awesome cars. A lot like Monterey.
It's a great shot of the Schnitzer.
Yeah,
Lady.
I took it so I
Actually,
could
pink
use it as
cars.
the cover for the December newsletter for the BMW car
I
club.
like that pink Iraq Z race car.
There's a lot of cool stuff there, and there was also a Bizzarini, which was the loudest car
Yes!
I have
Oh,
ever
I
heard in my
love
life.
Bizzarinis.
It'll be in this probably.
That's one of those brands that were spawned from Enzo Ferrari
Yeah,
pissing off
and
everyone.
you can tell it looks just like a Maserati,
Yeah.
an old Maserati. So, anyway, there's a bunch of cool stuff there. Excellent hospitality. Yeah, I mean,
So-
I had my first go with those little Lime scooters, which are awesome. I used them to go to Harbor Freight to buy tools, and then
Yes.
after my first ride of them, I went on Amazon and I just bought one.
Yeah.
And then I
So-
proceeded to ride the rest of my time on my own.
So if you want to go to a track day, go to a historics event.
Well,
Oh, it's still got to be the way.
not
to
really a
go.
track day. I mean,
Well,
these are wheel-to-wheel
you know.
races, but the ground was just thick with gorgeous Batmobile E9s. I
yeah.
mean,
So
that
if you
one
want to
was-
go
That's so cool.
to a fun race, go to historics.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
They're nice.
and all the people are super nice. I
Yeah.
didn't talk to anyone else this time just because the paddock wasn't quite set up the same way it
Oh,
was at like the Hawk
Yeah.
out in Road America. Or
It's
in
not as
Monterey.
accessible.
Right. I mean, the people are all there. They all know each other already, so there's not as much opportunity to meet new people, which kind of
Yeah.
sucks. But it was a lot of fun. It was a great addition to the trip. I mean, it cost some money, and we didn't go the second day, but it was fine. The
Yeah,
way
who
home,
cares? It's a
pretty
good
uneventful.
opportunity.
We ended up actually. We were originally going to leave, I think, Sunday morning at 2 a.m. just to drive through the entire day with daylight. We ended up leaving, I think, Saturday at 3:30 p.m.
Oh
because
no.
we decided to get all the way to Kansas City, Missouri at like 2:30 a.m. and stay with Peter's aunt,
Okay.
who has this amazing hunting lodge
Oh.
on their
Okay.
property. It has 8 beds in it. Heated floors, like full kitchen. It's all brand new, but like super like knotty pine, that kind of
That's
style.
awesome.
Yeah.
So we stayed in that thing, which was a really interesting experience. Just coyotes howling outside and tons of deer running
Oh.
around.
Fun.
Rural Kansas, super weird, but none of them ate the M5, so that was good. And then we headed home, and it was all fine. Radiator held up just fine. Car is still sitting in here. It's got a couple issues, but really nothing too bad.
Actually, I should mention. Speaking of coyotes,
Yeah.
one of my uncles was telling me about why he almost didn't make it to the funeral. As the night before, he'd gotten out of his truck, and apparently his dogs have been breeding with the coyotes and wolves and bringing the coyotes and wolves around the house.
Breeding with the coyotes?
Yeah. And so I guess he got like attacked by wolves and had to like run into his truck, and his like shotgun had fallen off the gun rack. It's a thing that you need for the wolves. But it's,
Wolf dogs.
yeah, his
I didn't
his
know
sh-
they were genetically that similar where they could breed.
yeah, they are. Yep. But they I guess his shotgun had fallen off the gun rack. either in the shuffle or something that's stuck behind the seat. He'd like go and grab his pistol and like kick a wolf like away and like shoot at it. Didn't kill it or anything, obviously.
Jeez.
But like they literally came at his life. So coyotes.
Well, thank goodness he made it to the funeral.
Yeah.
and not his own.
Alabama is literally like living in the 1800s, but with modern technology
And Cracker Barrels.
and lots of Cracker Barrels.
I saw so many Cracker Barrels in Texas.
His aunt was telling me about how excited they were for getting a grocery store. And
yeah,
that's
the
when
big
I was
town. Yeah,
Not like a Whole Foods, but just like
They
a
get
Publix.
Save Way or
they got a
Publix is pretty
yeah,
good.
they got a Publix in the city next to Anniston. Very fancy.
And then they were like, Jana, move down here. And I was like, I like my Whole Foods.
No,
And
I
my
like
co-ops.
I like Atlanta. I would absolutely move to Atlanta.
I would never move to Atlanta. The traffic's too bad.
No, yes, it's awful. It's
The traffic is gawpingly awful there.
It's absolutely dreadful. But no, if you leave at the right time of day, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you're probably. Oh, there's Luigi.
There it goes.
Luigi.
Very cute.
Luigi, it does it at the minute of the worry.
Anyway,
Wow.
so
Yep.
there's also more good news on my end.
Oh, excellent. Did somebody else die?
No,
Yes.
Oh.
we got the mobile podcast studio back.
Oh, the monster's back with his transmission now?
Yes, I'm
Woo!
done
You don't have to
driving.
drive that garbage Volkswagen?
God, I really do not like the new Jetta at all. So, for everybody that is out of the know, my van, my Mazda 5, which is our mobile podcast studio, I was getting the transmission replaced under warranty because aftermarket
It was
warranties.
jolly well
yeah,
boogered.
if you're financing a car, just get aftermarket warranty because it is
Make sure
just
you get a
fantastic.
good one,
Yeah, you have to get a good one. You have to read the fine print, but if you get a good one, you can be pretty solid. And yeah, no, I got free transmission out of it. But yeah, no, while we were doing that, I was having to drive our loaner cars to work, which are all Volkswagens because I work at a Volkswagen specific shop.
Weird.
Yeah. It's just, the new Jetta is just uncomfortable at all times. The seats feel like wood. Like, it's got the worst.
I know exactly what you mean.
It has
The ergonomics
just
are
the
just
the
bad.
worst throttle ever.
Huh. What do you mean,
'Cause-
like super aggressive tip in and then nothing? Or
Yeah,
what?
it's exactly that.
Okay.
Well, it's super aggressive tipping, a transmission that seems to like shift right, like when you step on the gas.
Yeah.
You're sitting there like waiting for it to shift, and by the time it figures out that it needs to shift, you're already at the speed you need to be at. So you let
It's
off,
just like pegging the rev limiter.
kind of, but like by the time you let off, you're midway through a shift. So the transmission like it's all loaded up and everything, and then when when it finally shifts, it shifts like a sledgehammer. So it's got a transmission computer that's like designed to kill itself. It feels like.
Like, we're going to need a lot more warranty claims.
Yeah,
So
like
let's
it's-
just take all of the gentleness out of this.
Yeah, no. Honestly, it feels like when you when you like rev up like you're super high. Like if you go like half throttle, you got high RPM,
Yeah.
and then you shift gears,
Yeah.
and then as you shift gears on automatic transmission, you just gun it. That's how it feels.
Oh, okay. So, like, it's ready for a gentle shift,
and then it just hammers it. Yeah,
kicks it into gear because it's concerned about the. Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah.
I know
that's
exactly
what,
what you mean.
It feels every single time regardless of what I do with my foot on the throttle, it always felt like that. It was awful. No, I did not like it at all.
That thing sounds just dreadful.
So instead, I chose after driving that for one evening.
I did see it.
Yeah,
Was
you did.
that-
You saw that. It was
that
at Laserdisc
Laserdisc?
movie night.
Okay,
yeah. After driving that for one evening, I immediately swapped it out for a diesel like 2003 Passat
Yep.
limousine, like actual limousine trim level,
Okay.
where it was designed for limousine companies. But you could spec it to still have the diesel.
That's interesting.
So like it was designed to be like, yeah, obviously they're gonna take the 6-cylinder, and so then you'll have a nice smooth
Right.
acceleration for your.
And in 2003,
limousine.
that would have been a 3-liter.
Yeah, like
So
that
those are
would've been-
all gone.
Yeah, they are all gone. But no, like it's a little bit. I think it's got a little bit more legroom in the rear.
Okay.
It's got tinted windows on it from the factory, black leather interior. It's really really nice, but because Volkswagen is how they are, you could spec it with any engine, like that trim level.
Right.
So somebody on Earth spec'd a limousine to have this chattery industrial diesel
ALH,
engine.
I love the
yes,
ALH.
it was great.
That's
And-
super great.
I think my favorite part about it is if you just started up without letting the glow plug seat up, you just get a big waft of smoke coming out of the back of the car. So I get to be really obnoxious with it. So yeah, it was great. I much prefer the 20-year-old Passat limousine diesel.
Yeah, when you had that here, I think for the last podcast time
Yeah.
we did, I'm like, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
kind of
other
a
than
cool
the fact
car.
it's going to go through like 400 sets of CV shafts in its life.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
kind of cool. Yeah,
I wish it was a 5-speed though.
I
me
was
too.
definitely happy to get a diesel after that other mess. It was not fun.
That
Well,
Jetta.
Not only that, you also had the heated seats in that car, which my new favorite game is the Volkswagen heated seat game where you put
Put it on max and see how long
put
it
it,
lasts.
put it on 5 and see who the survivor is.
I survived.
Yeah, Jana
I can leave it on continuously.
Yeah, Jana was like super comfy on 5.
I love boiling lava hot heated seats.
I thought I was gonna light on fire, and it's a German thing. It's very hot, and I am, as I am, so I was a little worried.
Yeah, I mean, German heated seats are really hot. Like the Fiat E seats get really hot, but they cycle really conservatively.
Oh, that's nice.
No, the
I
German
don't
ones,
like that.
the
'Cause
German
that car
ones
I
are
want
like
heat all the
Oh,
time
yeah.
because I don't use
the German ones are like an oven.
Yeah, and they stay on.
Yeah, like
The
an
Fiat
oven.
one cycles.
Yeah, and it smelled like diesel gas. So
Diesel
it was
gas?
or diesel exhaust, like exhaust gas. That's what I mean. Like
No, fuck it. We're gonna go with diesel, gas.
diesel exhaust fumes. So I'm like sitting there and I'm like, oh, it smells like gas and it's really hot in here. I am as I am.
You are, yes.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, it was
Programmed
bad. Yeah,
genetically.
programmed genetic flashbacks. It was not
Oh,
fun.
because you're Jewish?
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that was my. I'm just very happy to have my Mazda back and
No heated seats. But
no heated seats.
at least they're comfy
However,
seats.
getting out of
I used to pay so much attention to that, but once I realized that there's a bunch of companies out there that will literally parts and labor put heated seats in almost anything for $500, I'm like,
why
I
would
just don't even care
yeah,
anymore.
that's exactly how I am.
And like the technology is not any worse in the aftermarket systems.
No, I've got some other stuff I need to do to my van, but heated seats are now on the horizon.
Like even my Fiat 124 shopping, like if I end up getting a base model, which I probably will,
Yeah.
like those don't have heated seats.
Who
And I
cares?
want heated seats. 'cause
Just
it's
put 'em in.
comfortable. Right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like budget $500 and just immediately drop it off of the company that does that.
Yeah, take it to dealer automotive service or something.
Pretty
and
much.
Call it a day.
Yeah.
But no, when I got out of that Passat and I got into my Mazda,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed just how loud and chattery my suspension is. So I got coilovers going into that like ASAP. I was
Is
able,
it original suspension on it?
yeah, like original with like 177,000 miles on it.
That doesn't sound well.
It's extremely not well.
It's
so-
not as bad as my Accord though.
No, it's worse. It is
What?
so loud and chattery. It's unbelievable. Like
I guess
it
not as
interrupts your
bouncy.
it interrupts your
Moo.
conversations. Yeah, like that.
That's the joke on my Culver's Bay.
Interrupting cow? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you told Burger about
What?
that. Yeah, interrupting cow.
No, that was completely coincidental.
All right. It says, knock knock. The cow saying knock knock, and then the Culver's guy says, "Who's there?" The cow says, "Interrupting cow," and the Culver's guy goes, "Interrupting," and then before he can finish saying "interrupting cow?" the cow goes, "Oh."
Should I show the people?
Sure.
Yes. But yeah, no. So
Actually, let me just put in front of this one.
See? There you go.
Just freeze frame it if you want to see it. It's
Yeah.
adorable.
so anyway,
I had no idea.
No, you didn't.
I thought she told.
No,
she
I
showed
had
you
no
that.
idea.
That's super funny.
That's from South Park. That's what I was
Yeah,
going for. But yeah,
that's really
okay.
funny. But yeah, so I was able to find a set of coilovers for my Mazda 5 that were originally
Nice.
made for Mazda Speed 3, for less than struts and springs and
That's kind of how it
everything
goes a lot of the time. Like,
was.
even with the M5, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it was cheaper. And I'm now gonna have the coolest Mazda 5 on earth. I'm actually really excited for it.
Well, yeah, the manual.
Well, no, with coilovers.
Yeah, but
Lowered.
I'm only going with the manual.
Well, and not only is it going to be lowered, the coilovers I have that I ordered, they're H&Rs, but they can actually raise higher than factory ride height.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Well, my roommate raised his Miata because his Miata came
go.
with Racelands.
Okay.
And
Oh,
he bought it for $200.
Racelands can go up?
Apparently.
Oh, I thought they were
He-
only slam.
No, he he bought it for like $200 because the guy like thought it needed like all this work. He thought it was just like a pile of junk. Turns out the guy just forgot to put in a throw out bearing. We did his clutch, and the car was fine.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about
Yeah,
that.
but so Miguel is now using his as his winter beater, and so he just took the coilovers and raised them to the highest possible setting, and the car's like a foot higher,
Oh my word.
like than when he got it. So it's like a solid 8 inches higher than factory.
I mean,
It's
whatever.
pretty cool.
Oh god.
Yeah, so I'm excited to get the coilovers in the Mazda 5. I'll be doing an update on the MotorCult blog about that. We're gonna start doing a whole build thread on there
Nice.
about the 5, since I'm be doing quite a bit of work to
So
it.
the mobile podcast.
The mobile
studio.
podcast
Thank
studio.
you very much.
Yeah, so I want to see how good I can make a minivan.
You're gonna get the updated headlights and taillights too, then?
Yes, of
Yes.
course,
Cool.
and which will also be in the yeah. No, but the main goal for it is I want to make it something that's like still gonna be daily drivable, but like more fun than you could feasibly have with the Mazda Speed 3.
He wants it to be less of a mom van.
Yeah, basically.
I see. Okay.
Anyway, I've talked enough here.
Admirable.
Let's
All right,
talk
I'll get on to my
about
topic then.
talk about
All
your
right, so
Mercedes.
like 3 or 4 episodes ago, we
Yeah.
talked about BMW finally pulling the plug on their manual transmission for the 3
Ooh.
Series. That's actually not strictly true. It is for the U.S. market, but somebody posted a live in the flesh photo of a 3 Series diesel in Europe
That's a manual transmission.
with a 6-speed. So the manual isn't dead. I'm gonna get rid of this Honda ad right here.
Yay!
Ta-da! I mean, it looks really awkward in that.
No, it's
center
just dead.
stack.
It's just dead to us.
All right. So if you live in a regular part of the world where they have civilization, you can still have a manual in that car.
Yay.
But if you live in the United States or Canada, we're fucked.
Boom.
Sorry, we're forked.
Right? We got one F-bomb.
I think we've already hit 3 or 4.
Mm.
It's fine.
Oh, well.
Sorry, everyone. We are trying. We just are really bad at
We're getting better.
We need to come up with a dictionary
Yes.
dictionary.
for like usable words.
Or
I
just-
think a
or
thesaurus
just a
would be
button.
better.
Oh, thesaurus. Yeah.
Just
Okay,
just
alright.
like a button that just
Yeah, if you know,
beeps out.
that would be kind of cool,
Whoops.
actually.
Boo! You could have interrupting cow.
Sure. Just have it make a random like NPC sound effect every time you click it.
That'd be
What the?
fantastic. That'd be fantastic.
Somehow curb your enthusiasm theme.
Oh man, that's too much of a tangent. Anyway, that's all I want to talk about. The G20 is available in a manual, but not if you live where we live. So
But-
please
It
go
just
buy
seems
one.
really dumb because didn't
is
we
really
keep
dumb.
the manual
in
that?
the M,
Yes.
yeah, and they just announced the M3. Whole reason they're still offering a 6-speed, U.S. market.
So why wouldn't they just put 6-speed in the other ones?
Well, here's why. Because the M take rate for manual is still like 50%. The take rate on non-M 3 Series, aka lease specials, is like 5%.
So I wonder what the take rate is for non-leased cars
I bet
for
it's
manual
I-
transmissions.
Well, the only problem is the dealers order the dang things in. Nobody special orders a car anymore.
Oh, it's Subaru they do.
Not in BMW though.
Oh,
They just
good.
keep the lot full of these gray 320
Oh, and that's why
X-Drives.
everybody's got these 320 extras
Correct.
So
that
you're
nobody cares
saying
about.
Maury's needs a BMW dealership.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Maury's actually is really
If
good
you
about
order
that.
every car, then yeah. I mean, people are like, "Oh, I don't want to wait, but like,
Why are you shopping
Why
for
are you-
a car if you don't want to wait?
You don't want to wait, but
There's
you're just
a-
gonna drop 20 grand on something that's like gonna be mostly
Right.
good. Like what is wrong with you?
dude, I don't know.
if you don't
People are,
wait for
"Ooh,
your-
the automatic's faster. I'm like, dude, shut
See,
up.
my dad didn't want to wait, so he searched the entire country.
Who said
And
that?
that's the thing. There's a dealership in
There's somebody.
Boston.
There's somebody I was talking to. I was talking to that. I was having a conversation. He got like legitimately mad when I said I don't like automatics, even though they're not as fast. Even though the manual's not as
I
fast.
told a dealership.
Oh, Brett
in
Litford.
Florida.
That's who it
Yeah.
was. Yeah. Oh, fucking pleb.
I hate
Anyway,
that guy. Anyway,
everybody does.
I was talking to a dealership in South Florida about a Fiat 500 or 124 Barth this week, and the guy was like, it had a reported crash, and I was trying to figure out more about the crash, and the guy's like, oh, well, we have another one in stock that doesn't have a crash on its record for a little less money. Sends me the link, and it's a Classica, so the base model spec, and it's an auto. And I sent back
Oh.
a message. I'm like, I don't know how to drive auto.
Yes.
What'd he say?
He hasn't responded.
That's hilarious.
But anyway,
I don't know how to drive.
So
auto.
yeah, we're gonna keep getting M car manuals, but we're not getting these anymore. But there's a dealership in Boston that all the cars they allocate, their allocations, whatever, with BMW. If there's an option for a 6-speed, they order it as a 6-speed.
Good.
Because they sell 90% of their cars out of state because people look for them.
Yep.
And they do a lot of business.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
I just don't understand how that
When
can
I
be
was-
ignored.
When I was, like I said, when I was selling on Subaru, probably at least once a month, like I would be getting a car from out of state because somebody needed specifically just a manual transmission. We didn't have one,
Yep.
and I probably had maybe about like a good solid eighth of my cars I sold be manual.
My favorite is he would text me at least once a day with somebody that specifically ordered a certain car, like certain color, certain interior color.
And I think people
certain
should keep doing
transmission.
that. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's the Amazon Prime problem. Everyone
Oh, yeah.
wants instant gratification. I'm like, well, how about I just get the one with auto? It's right here, right now.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, I don't know.
No, I
It's-
mean, that's the thing. It's instant gratification. It's our
Yeah.
whole damn society. I mean, I'm part of the problem for sure.
Oh,
yeah,
a
no,
lot
you
of
are.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all right. So this is the way I look at it. If you want, if you want good food, you're going to lunch.
Yeah.
You have a McDonald's right next to you, and then like
This hits close to home for me,
two
by the
two
way.
blocks further down the road, there's an A&W.
Yep.
And you go to McDonald's, you're the problem. It's about the same price.
I find myself going to Subway a lot because it's the closest
Actually,
food.
McDonald's isn't a good example because they actually Burger King versus A&W.
I like Burger King.
Yeah, but A&W is better. But
Yeah.
the thing is, with McDonald's, you can feasibly make an argument that it's better because they have $1 pops or
I
$1
try not to
sodas.
drink soft drink. No, you had it right the first time. It's pop.
Well, we're outside of the Midwest too.
Then call it a soft drink.
Cokes,
Fizzy.
Pepsi Coke.
Fizzy drink.
Yeah.
Fizzy drink.
a fizzy drink.
A bubbly water. Anyway, yeah. So that's my G20 story. I think that's all I really
I'm
wanna
just glad
cover
my
on that.
parents raised me to like not be okay with what the dealership offers me to
So-
shop around.
And that's great. It's
Yeah.
just not the norm, which is
I know, which is
unfortunate.
sad.
I don't know, but my logic is if you have $20,000 or
Yeah.
$50,000 to spend on a car, the higher I can understand getting whatever if you're getting a Mitsubishi Mirage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But like,
Yeah, an
especially if
appliance,
you're buying a BMW, like just go get it allocated. Like, what the heck is wrong with you?
All right.
Like,
And
if you're spending that much money,
people buy BMWs because of residual.
Yeah.
Do you know how much better the residual is on a 6-speed 320
Yeah.
versus an 8-speed 320? It's
yeah,
incredible.
way higher.
Oh,
Way
by the way,
higher.
surprise Alabama fact: there were a lot of
I like this.
Yeah,
Kia Souls and
Okay.
a lot of Honda Ridgelines.
yeah, like all of the
Really?
Ridgelines. Well,
Yeah.
they're made there.
Those are like, oh, okay, I was gonna say like those are two of the most liberal vehicles I
Right?
can think of.
But
They
no-
were everywhere, and like I love Ridgelines.
I saw a ton of Mercedes GLs last time I was down there because they're also made there.
Oh yeah.
That's true, yeah. And
But, like,
BMW X3, I think.
that's
or
kind of
something.
how-
those are made in South Carolina.
But still, the Bible Belt.
Yeah, that's how like Ryan introduced me to his family. They're like, she loves Ridgelines, and they're like, yeah. I was like,
It's
I
true,
learned how
that-
to drive in
That
one.
was the icebreaker. It really was.
Why should we like her? She
Yeah.
learned to
Ridgeline.
drive in
They're
a
like,
Ridgeline.
she's Catholic,
Oh!
but she loves Ridgelines. And they're like, yeah.
Nice.
it.
Wow.
Very accurate.
Oh.
No, it's that's why a lot of people, if you want to make a good, some good money flipping a car, you want to go on vacation in winter, you go down to Alabama or Georgia, you go buy a Ridgeline and you drive it up here, and it's about a $5,000 difference in price.
That's
like a
true.
4Runner
My
too,
dad's
yeah.
bought 3 or 4 Ridgelines, and he always goes south, buys them,
That's the
sells
case
them
with
here.
a lot of cars. I mean, Peter Francis was looking at like nice 3rd-gen Camrys in Texas that were like $1,000. I'm like, that thing is
Nice.
definitely worth $2-3 grand in Minnesota.
Yeah.
No problem. Like you could just drive it home for fun and sell it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Put it in
first
the
generation
bonnet.
Integras.
We found a $3,000 manual Fiat 500 pop. With
I
a
would-
clean title.
I would totally drive
Dallas.
that back.
I need it.
It was $3 grand. I'm like,
It's
what
nothing.
the hell? I just don't. I will never understand the bad rap that car gets because it's
Yeah.
awesome. But
No,
amazing.
everybody that doesn't like the Fiat 500 just hasn't driven one.
that is. I think that's pretty much it.
It's the modern Honda Civic.
And people
Everybody
say,
used to
oh,
shit on
it's
Civics
small,
and-
it's not safe. Smaller cars are safer than big cars.
It's yeah, it's
Because
very
you
safe,
drive
but-
smarter.
Well, no, and like it has like 7 airbags or something too. I'm like, it's very safe.
Well, yeah, not only that. I think it was wasn't it like wasn't the Explorer? I forgot what it was. It's some sort of
Big car.
There's some like, big
Big
General Motors
car.
truck that like just like absolutely failed.
All of the modern, like the newest
Trucks.
half-ton pickups have been getting like really dangerously bad small overlap crash test ratings.
Yeah.
Like really bad. I think the Fords may be okay, but
No,
the Chevy
it was
really
it was
bad.
the
I'm
Dodge.
glad-
It's okay. That's the one that's okay. It's
Really?
Ford got hammered too.
Okay.
But no, Dodge just did the newest Ram, and yeah, that one actually got 5 stars.
Speaking of the newest Ram, I know it's not in order, but wasn't there an article in here about the that like tribal tat on the back seats
yeah,
or whatever?
I think it's actually going to be in the next episode.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the next episode. We'll talk about
Damn.
that. Don't
All
worry,
right, fine.
everyone. You'll find out in
We
3
should
days.
almost switch one of the topics over so we can talk about that, but all right, we can talk about it next time.
Buy imported small cars.
If you're listening to this, just hop over to Twitch and go to the next episode ahead of time
Exactly.
and listen for that one.
Anyway, so I want to move on to something I discovered last week.
Okay.
Actually,
Sure.
Ooh, what is it?
I have a new favorite Ferrari.
Oh.
Do
Yes,
you?
I do actually. Modern Ferrari, I should say.
Is it called the SEMA?
No, it's the Aries Project Pony GTC4.
Do you want to talk about that before
Project
SEMA?
Pony.
Yeah, let's talk about that before SEMA.
Okay, sure.
Because actually SEMA will flow really well into
Sure.
the topic later on.
I like that this car has the word pony in its title.
Yeah.
Pony.
Well, all right. So this is what it is. It's
Yay.
my favorite part of the Ferrari 412 were the looks. I love how the 412 looks. It is just an outwardly awful vehicle. However, what they did here is they took the 412 looks and made it good. They based it off of
Whoa.
yeah,
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
like if
Come on,
anybody
internet.
if anybody doesn't like
Show our viewers.
if anybody doesn't fully understand why I like 80s cars, this car is exactly everything I love about 80s cars. Like, that's a perfect representation of, like, a retro car. It is so cool.
Oh, jeez.
The front end looks
It's
awesome
like
to me.
modern Daytona
Yeah, that's
mixed with like an F12.
Well, if you look at a Ferrari 400, like, it's all the goodness of a 400, but with all the badness of the 400 not there. But yeah, it makes it 340 horsepower. It's pretty cool.
That interior, the dash is so terribly 80s. Oh,
Dude, I love it.
that's
Let me look
gross.
at that dashboard one more time.
Uh,
Yes.
No.
Ryan, what are you thinking?
Gianna, what are you talking about? You started dating me as I was driving my GL10. What the
Yeah.
heck's wrong
I
with
also thought it was a punishment from your parents, so.
you? Yeah, no, this is my new favorite modern
This can be
Ferrari.
Ryan's new punishment from his parents.
Yes.
Yeah, punish me.
I'm not going deeper into that one.
Hey,
Oh.
click that privacy matters accept so we can go down a little bit further on the article because I feel like there's some stuff that I probably forgot. Accept, yeah, nobody cares.
I could have scrolled down. Why'd you make me do that?
Well, you could have done that too.
Aris Design Model S Roadster. Ooh.
Yeah, they've.
Yikes.
This is a very cool design house. I like them a lot.
But what's this actually based on? If it's a design house, it's
It
not
is. I think it's the GTC4.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
can see that. Sure.
Yes, it's based off the
So they just
GTC4.
cut the back of it off, and
No,
so this thing's all-wheel drive.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, apparently.
weird. GTC4 Lusso.
Yeah.
Seamless dual clutch paddle transmissions.
Whatever. What do you expect? But
Uh-huh.
it's a lot better than the slush box I had before. It's
No,
still very cool.
It had a dual clutch before, and the GTC4 Lusso actually had 2 dual clutch transmissions.
No. I meant the 400i.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was an auto?
Those was the first Ferrari with an automatic transmission. It was bad.
Were they all auto?
No, it had a really high take rate.
So it was like a 4-speed ancient auto.
It
in
was a
Ferrari.
General Motors. It might have been a 3-speed.
What year was this?
Early 80s, late
Yeah,
70s.
that was
That'd be
probably a 3-speed.
Yeah. It's
Hooked
not
up
good.
to, oh my, I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
It was hooked up to like a 308 engine?
I think it was a.
V12?
Let me look it up.
Okay.
You,
I can, yeah, I'll talk about my SL when you're looking at this.
yeah. Talk about your SL. I'm gonna do some research here.
So, all right. We've got a 1997 Mercedes SL 600. We've had it since 2003. It's a lovely car. It's magma red, black interior. We got it out of Tucson, Arizona. Like I said, I mean, it's just been kind of my dad's fun summer car for the last 15 years.
Oh, so
And
nice.
last fall, he crashed into somebody on 394 in it.
Oh no.
And the insurance company totaled it. But I'm just like, well, let's see what the buyback is. And the buyback on this car was like $1,600. I'm like, all right, just buy it
That's not
back.
bad.
So I took it to Minnetonka Collision, my body shop of choice, and I told my buddy Chris, I'm like, I'll get you whatever parts you need to fix it. Just let me know what it needs, and we'll go from there. So about 13 months later, 3 days ago, I picked it up. Thing looks absolutely gorgeous, but the car has what's called ADS, which is hydraulic rams for shock absorbers, and they had completely deflated because of a computer issue. And the car won't reinflate until the computer issue is solved. So it's slammed. It's like stance work slammed. It couldn't drive it. It'll go forward and backward at a slow speed, but you can't turn it.
Ooh.
Like it's dumped. I mean, just picture a car that you took the springs out of.
You mean
It's
like that one person's what is it? Saturn.
Oh,
Saturn?
Darius.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Darius' Saturn. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. But so I ended up AAA towing it to Eurotech, and the tow driver, luckily, really, really nice because obviously he was not pleased about dealing with a stance
It's
car,
really
basically.
hard to find a nice tow truck driver. So I
AAA
always
does pretty well, just
Yeah,
sending
AAA
pretty good
does.
people. So my dad had AAA Plus. I don't know why, but I'm like, we're just
That's
going to use
interesting,
yours.
yeah.
So
Alright.
we got the guy, and he had like a bunch of 2x6s, and we were able to like tilt the
Oh,
bed and like get it up there. Got it to Eurotech, and it turns out this car won't reinitialize the suspension leveling because the steering angle sensor for the stability control is bad.
Oh my
no.
God.
So
that's
none of the
so
systems in the
dumb.
car are allowed to recalibrate until that's been replaced. And it's been bad for like 3 years. But like
Yeah.
the fact that it got below the minimum ride height before being started again means it's not allowed to reinitialize. I'm just like, okay, fine, replace it. So that's my story on the 600. It's still sitting up at Eurotech right now, but I just like it's ridiculous.
You found a solution.
It's
It's
ridiculous.
just ridiculous.
That's
Yeah,
so
the
stupid.
steering angle sensor is keeping the car from driving.
It's like when you can't start a car because the steering wheel's at the wrong angle.
Oh,
but
the
like-
steering lock, but like electronically.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
it's
so
basically
stupid.
an electric steering lock. Yeah.
Oh God, no, thank you.
So
I-
yeah,
That- I did
cars
not-
don't like to sit.
That car is acting like an A8.
Yeah.
It is, because
But-
A8s do stupid crap like that all the time.
And this thing is, man, every part of this car I learned after he crashed it is specific to 96 to 2002. It's specific to the SL, specific to the V12.
Yeah.
So
Oh
I
my
couldn't
God.
buy 320 and 500 parts. I had to find 600s. I bought the only used radiator in the entire country. There aren't new ones anymore. You cannot buy a new radiator for the 600.
Oh my God.
Mercedes won't
That's
sell you
awful.
one. And when you could, it was $1,800. Anyway, that's enough of the 600. But I really thought it was ridiculous that a car would not drive because of a steering angle sensor.
So, let's talk about something a little bit, well, I guess not any better, but I did my research on the 400i.
Okay.
So it was actually the 400 was also the 412 and the 356 GT4
Okay.
or 365 GT4. I'm sorry. It had a 12-liter Colombo, or not 12-liter, a 12-cylinder Colombo.
Woo!
Sorry,
That's pretty cool.
This
Had a
coffee is
Colombo.
getting a little cold here. I should probably drink it.
That sounds really good.
But no, so it had the manual ones made 340 horsepower. However, if you got the 400i, the 400 fuel injected one with a automatic transmission, you went down to 310 from 340. I'm waiting for Burger to get back from making coffee. 310 from 340 and an automatic transmission, which was in fact a
That-
3-speed.
That's almost as bad as the first gen NSX. Do you remember that? Where the autos had a 3-liter with like
Yes.
220 horsepower and the manuals had a 3.2 with
No,
like
they still they
290.
had 3-liter.
But no, originally they were all 3-liters, but when they
Yeah, oh,
got
yeah, when they
the
went up,
3.2s, the
yeah.
autos kept the 3-liter. So you could get a
Yes.
late NSX with a 3-liter still, but it was a reduced power 3-liter to begin with.
So, and then the transmission was a THM 400. It's a turbo hydromatic.
So it was a 3-speed, but
it was-
also a really reliable transmission. So
Yeah, so, I mean, well, I guess the good news is if you want to have a cheap, hilarious Ferrari, you can get one of those. Take the V12 out and put a small block in it or something and
Or-
make probably more power.
Just put a shift kit in it and like a hilariously short final drive.
Or just, I feel like there has to be a way to make more power on a Colombo V12.
Yeah, there is, especially one with that kind of displacement.
Yeah.
I mean, the early Columbos are like 1.5 and 2
Yeah,
liters.
these are 4.8 liters.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
got to be one of the last Columbos. No.
Yeah, 4.9. Wow, no, 5 liter. Wow. The 412 at a 5 liter.
I wonder what the last Colombo Ferrari was. Because that was an actual V12. It wasn't the flat one in the Testarossa. Was this might have been the last car to have the Colombo.
Yeah, they made him until 1989 with the Colombo V12.
Huh. So yeah, I think that probably was because the Testarossa had a 12-cylinder, but it was a flat 12, or 210 degree V or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
280.
No, can't have been 280.
Or
It-
not
it
280,
was near
180.
flat.
180, I mean.
It was either 180 or 210.
I think it was actually flat.
I don't actually know. I haven't taken an engine out of one of those.
All right. So, yeah, this is actually kind of a cool car.
It does look really great. This actually reminds me of that company in Italy. They'll take a Ferrari 430 and cut like a ridiculous amount of wheelbase out of it and put a modern Lancia Stratos body kit on it. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh man, I gotta find
God.
this.
Well, while you're finding that, we did not go to SEMA because we were busy doing our own crap. Otherwise, we might have
In
gone.
Alabama.
Yeah, this is our own crap. You might have gone. I don't know. I'd probably need somebody to pay for me to go there for me to actually go there.
It was on Halloween, so probably
yeah, I
not.
would not have gone because Gianna would not have let me.
Yeah,
That's true.
Halloween is my Christmas, so.
Yeah, Halloween. we treat Halloween like Christmas.
Because my birthday's too close.
Oh
to
yeah,
Christmas.
yeah, I know that one. Yeah, I didn't know it was based off the F430.
Yeah, it's based off a 430.
pretty.
Oh, that's cool.
I think those things are super attractive.
Yeah, no, those look great. But anyway, SEMA this year is actually pretty cool. Apparently, from what a lot of people have said.
I did see
Everyone on Facebook.
Yeah, no,
pretty
like all of
much.
our friends went.
Yeah, I saw all the posts.
Like everybody I know.
All right,
But
I gotta make coffee.
did so Bisimoto had their Wagavan now with the K series, and they built that. I thought that was originally the D series one. This is a completely separate.
What? They have two?
Yeah, he has two now. They're the same color. So he still has a 700 horsepower D series Wagavan,
Nice.
but he also has, which was he originally built that to get revenge on off of another performance shop that said Bisimoto doesn't know how to use turbos. And
I do feel like he gravitates toward all motor, but yeah, Busy definitely understands.
well,
force
that's the thing.
reduction.
Well-
Look at his Porsche.
well, so all right, the Wagavan originally that he built,
Yeah.
he built that because Super Street Magazine had the top engine builder championship, or not championship, but contest where they got like 8 shops, like every magazine, like owned by like Source Media at
Yeah.
that time. They all chose a shop and had a shop build a car.
'Kay.
He built a 350 horsepower in a F series, like F22A1 from a 92 Honda Accord.
Okay.
He built that, made 350 horsepower all motor on it,
Okay.
which is insane.
That is a crap ton of
And this
horsepower
is,
for that sort of engine
Th-
design and
this is
displacement.
also like 2006, 2007. Anyway, so one of the shops that built an Evo, there are 2 shops that built an Evo. I can't remember who it was. I think they went out of business since then.
Mm-hmm.
They said, well, Bisimoto clearly they chose all motor because they don't know how to make a turbocharged car. And so Bizzier Zahoa
Plain
says,
words.
yeah, he goes, all right, then let me show you something about turbos. And gets a D series, like what is commonly known as like the weakest of all the Honda engines. And
They were weak, but I mean they were in like the basic Civics of
yeah,
the
like just your basic that's what like non-Honda people know it as.
Okay.
So they all went and said like, oh, or he goes, I'm gonna build this, and builds it, makes 700 horsepower, which is more horsepower than the guy's Evo did, and then runs a faster quarter mile time than the guy's Evo.
And this is in a Wago van,
in a Wagavan.
Oh my gosh.
So
which
that's
has the aerodynamic properties of a dustbuster.
it's decent actually. I think it's like
Yeah, dustbusters I think have decent aerodynamic
yeah,
properties.
this one's
A lot more frontal area though.
this one. I'll have to look up what the drag coefficients of a Wagavan is, but he built that just to make a point and got really famous from that. And so he fast forward to a few years ago, he built the 1,000 horsepower Honda Odyssey with the J series in it,
Yep.
which he actually uses to drive his kids to school.
Well, the boost bike gear probably helps a bit.
Yeah, but anyway, he got like owned at the Netflix
Yeah, I saw that.
fastest car. Anyway,
That thing
so
needed all-wheel drive. It
he-
really did.
yeah, and so that's exactly what happened. And so he goes and buys another Wagavan, does a K series all-wheel drive swap with the CRV drivetrain, CRV rear end, and puts it all on there custom. And so I guess the point of this is that he's going to use it for the next Netflix fastest car series
Nice.
to
Okay.
now beat everyone.
I feel like he doesn't like to lose.
No, he's very competitive. This is also the same person that in like the mid '90s made his own race gas and chemically made it so when it burns, it smells like grapes.
Grapes.
So he was like a proto vapor.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So like he vaped before vaping was cool.
Well, at least the odor going down the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So he had his Wagavan there. Then there was just a bunch of kind of cool stuff that came about. Chrysler released some new engine or something, a crate engine that was kind of cool, I guess. And Toyota had all generations of the Toyota Supra there, which is very cool.
That would actually take some doing.
Now that engine, though, let's talk about that for a second.
Oh, you want to talk about Fiat's announcement?
Yes,
It's not a typical. It's okay.
Chrysler Fiat.
You picture
engine.
Fiat and crate engine, and
Yes.
you're like, oh, what the heck? That doesn't make any sense. But okay, it's actually FCA. It's not just Fiat. And obviously, you guys are well aware of the Hellcat, right? The
Yes.
6.2
We all know
liter
that, yeah.
supercharged, yada yada. So what they did here is last year they announced their new line of crate engines.
Yeah.
Because up until then, if you wanted to put a Gen 5 or a Gen 6 Hemi into your car, you really couldn't. The computers were locked down so much with encryption, you couldn't decode it. You'd have to run on a carburetor with a standalone ignition. They released their 6.4-liter naturally aspirated Hemi.
Yeah.
This year, instead of releasing a Hellcat crate engine, they bumped the 6.2-liter Demon engine to 7 liters, put a
Cool.
bigger supercharger on it, it makes 1,000 horsepower and pump gas, and that's the the engine. Sorry, slip, and they call it the Hellephant. The Hellephant.
I
So
love that.
I do not know what this thing costs. It's probably like 35 grand, but it's amazing that you can buy an out-of-the-box 1,000 horsepower, reliable, warranted crate engine.
You know, God bless Chrysler. I love
Seriously,
Chrysler.
I don't know who is smoking the crack up top right now, but they are doing some
You
good
know,
stuff.
I was thinking about it. Of all the American companies right now, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but Chrysler is far and wide my favorite.
Yeah, I think so. Of the big three, for sure.
Yeah, of the big
Because
three,
their automatics work, because their their ZF
Yeah.
8 speeds.
they're for a while. For a while, it
Janet
was
just noticed
yeah.
my
Jan
compliment.
just noticed it. For a while, Ford was my favorite, but Ford has just taken. They've just completely abandoned me. They've treated me like Honda treated
Oh,
me in
let's take away
2008.
all of our RS line. Oh, let's take away all of our manuals. Oh, let's take away all of our cars.
Like, what do I have
Cat,
left
how
with Ford?
dare you
There's
say
there's
that?
nothing left for me at Ford. And it's ironic because Ford used to be my favorite, and everybody used to yell at me for making fun of him. And I'm like, yeah, I make fun of them because I enjoy them. No, so my question is, what would you put this engine into?
The Hellephant?
Yes.
I might need a second to think about this.
Yeah. We're going to have to come back to it next
Yeah.
episode as well. I'm going to say immediately the first thing that comes to my mind is an AMC Rim.
That's a good answer. I was trying to think of something like old and already rear-wheel drive.
I want something old, rear-wheel drive, and stupid. So that's all.
I got it.
That,
First
all of the
gen
above.
LS400.
ooh, a AMC Eagle.
Those are all-wheel drive, man.
Yeah, but you can make them rear-wheel
Oh,
you
drive.
put
that's
it
true. You
into-
could take the Jeep, the Hellcat,
Yeah.
the Trailhawk.
The
Can you
Trailhawk.
put it into a Ford Pinto?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can put it into a Pinto. Yes.
I'm gonna put it in a Pinto.
Yep, you can put it in a Pinto. A Chevette. Actually, no, I will
I
just
thought
take.
about a Chevette, but
Yeah,
no.
Chevette would be up there, or a Chevy Vega. A Ford Maverick could be a great swap opportunity. But yeah, I may keep going on this, and every time I think of a
I'm
new
gonna go
hilarious
find
car,
my mom's old blue Ford Pinto and put a Hellephant in it.
the blue had a really high take rate. Actually, no, better
Previa.
yet- no, a
Oh.
Pinto cruising wagon.
Oh no.
The one with
That
the
would be so great.
the one with the factory porthole window, or no, better yet, a Dodge tradesman, a short body Dodge tradesman van.
Boring.
That'd be great.
Boring.
Paint a picture of an elephant on the side, like mural an elephant on it.
So speaking of murals, the other day I posted on Facebook about how I can't get a Scion XD because Ryan would make fun of my emo days, and I was just talking to former guest Ben Shu about how I should get one, and that's why I was distracted and not looking at the cat. But
That's fine. You have seen it now, though, right?
yes, I have.
This
and
fabulous cat mug.
I love it.
Thank you to our Patreon supporter Scott for giving this to me for my birthday.
Scott is a good supporter.
He is.
But
Very
this is
consistent.
what we've decided. If I get a Scion XD, what I need to do, it needs to be in strictly like early 2000s email build. So we're gonna dye it pink, or we're gonna paint it pink.
Diet pink.
Dye it
Are you
pink.
gonna get those eyelashes for it?
No.
No. Probably pinstripe some thick eyeliner around the headlights though.
Okay.
But we're
Never
gonna
heard
do
of emo
a.
builds.
Well,
We just
see,
decided this in the car because there was a long car ride.
this was
we're in
we
the
were talking
first
about this
snow.
when we had that snowstorm.
Yeah.
It took me
I listened to that
over
episode the other
3
day.
hours to get to your house.
Oh, you weren't talking about the when we got snowed in here.
No,
You were
no,
talking
I'm-
about Laserdisc night.
No,
Yes.
no, I'm talking about like this Thursday. We were having this
Yeah.
conversation.
Also, we should revisit my coworker's car thing because he's thinking about giving his Audi to his roommate and getting a new car.
Oh,
So I can't remember what we recommended to him. We might have to revisit.
But yeah,
elephant swapped Pinto.
so this build, we're gonna get me a Scion XD.
Ow.
It's gonna be bright pink, and then I was joking with somebody who said I need to get it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna load up the disc player with My Chemical Romance's entire discography, and then we decided we would have to like Natasha, like
Yeah,
what-
Atasha. No,
Atasha.
we talked about this in the car. Yeah.
Atasha it with all the different stages of Gerard Way, which is the front of My Chemical Romance. So
Okay.
there's gonna be in because he's also a comic book artist. We're gonna do his style of himself in all the different My Chemical Romance phases.
This has a lot of thought into
Yeah,
it.
we had,
We had
3
a long
hours
car
of
ride.
we had 3 hours of listening to NPR talking about this. So.
And
Wow, that's conflicting.
then we decided the seats would have to be checker print with bright
stitching.
pink stitching.
Just
and
like the most scene girl thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course you're forgetting the best part, the vanity plate,
the vanity plate is gonna be RAR.
because it's the XD.
RAWR.
RAWR XD.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you.
But all right, so this all started out when Jana's like,
Should just be ASCII.
Jan really wants a Scion XA for
IA.
her, or sorry, IA for no, it's
No,
an XA. It's an XA.
No, it's an
Is it
IA.
IA? Oh, it's an IA.
XAs are terrible. IAs are the Corolla hatchbacks,
Yeah.
right?
The one it was
Or
a,
that's an IM.
I
The
think it's-
Scion IA
The
from
IA is
the
a Mazda
back,
2.
no, this is the one from the
or
like when they first.
2006.
It'd be the XA because the XA and
That's
the
what I meant.
It's
it has the XA and the XB. Yeah, because it was called Toyota Ist.
it's an IA.
I don't like the IA. The IA is good. I don't like the
Yeah.
XA. I do like the XB.
But the reason why I started with
Yeah, no, it's a Scion XA. Sorry.
I don't like those. Piss
No,
Jugs'
it's
first
an
car was one of
IA.
those. Her second car.
the one I'm looking for is an IA. I know because I see
It's a
them all
Mazda
the
2
time.
sedan. That's an IA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they look a lot like Renault Clios from the butt.
That one?
No, it's
The XA. It's the one I just pulled up.
None of them look like
okay.
That one.
what-
Clios.
From the butt, they got a square rear end.
That's an XD.
No, I'll show you.
The
what-
XD has a square rear
I'll
end.
Yeah.
show you. This is what an XA is.
Okay, maybe I don't know. We're not gonna argue about it. But I'm looking at a Scion to replace the Sienna eventually,
Okay.
when the Sienna dies from all the sludge in it.
So, but anyway, originally it started out with Jan saying she really wants an XD, but I'd make fun of her. And I said, no, I wouldn't make fun of you. I'd just give you like a Reptar sticker. You wouldn't understand why. You just think it's cute. And
No,
then
instead
somebody would walk it past your car and you'd be getting out and they go, rar. And you go, and then you get really mad.
Yeah.
Because that's how I do things.
And then we are talking about how he would.
Is that what you're talking about? The
I
rear
don't-
end?
I don't know.
I want to point out real quick that Hari just started streaming us on Twitch, and look at the thumbnail. The upper right corner, it's the cat mug.
The cat. Meow.
I'll show this to the viewers real quick.
Oh.
There you go, it's the cat mug. Sorry.
But yeah, so I just don't know if the Scions are going to be big enough for my ground penetrating radar.
They will.
So
That's
Yes.
really not that big.
Yeah, it'll be fine. You could put that in a Fiat.
You could feasibly put that into a Fiat, actually,
Alright,
honey.
so
You just wouldn't be able to put anything else in the car.
yeah,
But that
just me and my ground penetrating radar.
and your Fiat and all your My Chemical Romance music.
Anyway, I wish you best on your XD or IA endeavor.
Thanks. It will come when I get money, which will be a while. But you know, one can dream. It's good to plan ahead.
Absolutely. I do that too much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like
Probably a
the thing
detriment.
is, I'm not shopping for a new car. I'm shopping for a used car, so I can start now looking at patterns and figure out the exact one I want to get. And
Pull a
then-
Matt Farah and use LA City bus fabric for your seats.
Yep.
I know the exact fabric. I actually, when
Yeah.
we were coming back from the state fair a couple of years ago, we took the bus, and I had to look up exactly where this fabric came from, and I actually found the website that sells it.
Yeah.
It's like $30, I think, per yard. I think it's,
I thought it was really cheap.
oh no, not $30. I think it was $30. It was enough
$30
for like
a yard's not bad.
I think it was like something like $30 was like exactly what I needed for my front seats. Like $30.
Okay.
$30
Yeah, that's
worth
probably
of
like 4
fabric.
yards then.
Yeah, that'd be 4 yards, and yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that math, but it was very affordable, and
Also, screw fabric being measured in yards.
Right.
I know, right?
Like, I bought black dirt one time, and it was measured in yards.
What?
Cubic yard.
No.
That's so dumb.
I bought like 9 of them. It's way too much.
Imperial is so.
I know.
Mm.
Like, can I get one desk of Cheez-Its?
Yeah, exactly.
Like from Family Guy?
Yeah, from Family
Where
Guy.
are you getting these units, Mary?
1 metric tucker.
Oh, I
Like,
do
we
like that
decide-
one.
All right, so
We actually have 2 interesting engineering topics this
this
week.
is weird. I'm gonna start out with mine.
Fair enough.
This is also a car that an elephant would fit within, but it'd be really weird. It'd probably blow the whole thing apart.
Yikes.
I want to talk about the Honda S800, and specifically the S800 RSC. Because if you're not familiar with the Honda S800, this car is like Honda's first like foray into like really, really cool engineering. And it really was kind of precursor to all the really cool stuff that they did later on. So the S8, this came up because that Japanese nostalgia car we recently had a post, one of these kidney car articles, which is a car you would sell a kidney to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was a
Not a car shaped like a kidney.
No. It's a Honda S800 Racing, RSC, which is Racing Service Center. So what this car's super cool because they used all their bike technology
Okay.
into a tiny sports car that competed with like MGs and stuff. So it had a 10,000 RPM, 800cc engine that made 90 horsepower, over 100 horsepower per liter in 1968. Had a 5-speed manual transmission when MGs had 4 speeds.
Which is saying something because AMG was on the forefront for a long
Or
time.
not AMG, MG.
Okay.
MG. But I mean, still, at this point in time, in 1968, as far as sports car racing,
Mm-hmm.
like MG and Alfa Romeo both had a 4-speed transmission,
Mm-hmm.
and they were the forefront of racing, especially in this class.
Even if it was moderately reliable at the time, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it had needle bearing crank, which is actually really cool. And you're probably wondering what that is.
No, I know exactly what that is, but why?
Because it had a 10,000 RPM red line.
I can't believe those things didn't shatter.
No, it was designed to like.
I mean, they're really good at
retain
load, but they're not good at that kind of speed, which is surprising.
Yeah, it's Honda.
Okay.
They do really weird things.
That would be endlessly reliable, though. Like, you wouldn't even have to oil that thing to get to 10 grand.
Yeah, that's why they did it.
That's
is-
like a 2-stroke Sea-Doo engine.
Yeah, they basically did that. They made like a 2-stroke Sea-Doo engine, made a 4-stroke, and then made like 90 horsepower out of it. It was just
Is this like
insane.
Honda's, like, the guy that he bought the Harley and, like, made the engine not
Yeah.
misfire anymore?
Oh.
Is that this sort of thing?
It kind of like that. Kind of that was that was Hirotoshi. That was the son of the guy who designed this car.
Like father, like son.
What?
We actually just got a Twitch comment.
Oh, hey there, Liam Fran.
What do you
What
guys
do
think about F1 coming to Vietnam?
Actually,
Oh.
I think that's really cool.
Do you guys have a track in Vietnam that would support Formula One, or would it have to be built?
Apparently they are.
Well, answer us that question while Ryan finishes
yes.
this, and we'll give you our opinion.
So this is the thing that's super cool about the S800, though. It does all this, but the car weighs 1,600 pounds.
Holy God.
Nothing at
Dude,
all.
that's like 800 pounds less than a super light. That's like a first-gen Elise minus 800
yeah,
pounds.
that's super insanely light.
What
like,
does that little N600 with the Gixxer motor in it weigh?
Probably about this much, and they cut out a lot of weight.
How much does Ron weigh?
Ron Jana's Accord weighs 24.
Okay.
So it weighs like this
That's
is
really light
nothing.
for an Accord, but yeah, still.
But so
Just for frame of
what's also very
Fiat 500 Pop is 2350.
exactly yeah.
Fiat's
So
lighter
it's-
than an Accord.
Yeah.
That's wow.
So, 1,600 pounds is featherweight. But
Which, by
it's
the
also got a. This is one second.
Just for like more reference, with the Accord, I can push it,
Yeah.
and I'm
Right.
a 93-pound, 5'1".
I mean, that also has like Honda suspension and
Yeah.
bearings. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
helps so much. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they're super light cars that are just like I can't push that
Exactly.
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
No, this
maybe
is
it's down to
just-
tires and stuff too. Like
Yeah.
the 1600, that's closer to this weight in that car. Like you could push it with one hand up to like running speed.
Yeah, exactly. But it's got a chain-driven rear axle as well, like a motorcycle.
Sure,
Because Honda at that point in time was coming.
Honda's so silly.
Yeah, well, this is their literally their
know.
first car they ever made.
know,
was
I
the
know.
was the S car, but they no, they had a chain-driven
Oh,
rear end
wow.
like a bike, so it was just a super.
Was it a sequential transmission or was it
No, it was a
regular
There's
H
an H pattern, but I mean, in 1965, it's really cool, and the fact that a chain-driven rear end is like really
Yeah,
unique. 'Cause I can't think of many cars with a chain-driven rear end.
That's so cute. I really
I can't
like
think of
those
any.
cars.
Come to think of it.
Yeah, the S800. There you go.
Did it have a differential like some of the modern ATVs where they like drove the differential ring gear with a chain and then it had a diff in it, or was it a locker?
You know, I've never actually seen a
Or a
picture of it.
spool.
I've been around like a handful of these. I've never actually seen underneath it. And
This isn't a car you just like lay on the ground to look at.
I actually would, but I when I was at the Real Time Collection Hall where they had one of these, they had a non-racing version, but I didn't have a chance to lay on the ground to look at it. But yeah, it was very, very cool. And anyway, so this one's for sale right now
Or
in
kidney
Europe.
price.
$85,000 to $108,000.
That's
Oh,
a lot.
A lot, but I mean, when you think
that's
of
more
race,
than a few kidneys.
I'm actually gonna click on that Japanese nostalgic car link and bring it up real quick.
yeah, because that's a very, very cool car, and it's also one of two ever made.
Oh,
As a
that's why
RSC.
it's that much.
Yeah, the standard ones are significantly more common, and you can get those for like $20,000 for the best one in the world. But no, these ones are much cheaper.
Let me bring that up on the stream here.
Yeah, bring that up on the stream.
The
It's,
encoding is having a heart attack right now. There.
Yeah,
okay, it
can
should be up
imagine.
now.
yeah. So
Aw.
there it is. Yeah.
That's adorable.
It's like a little shoe. It's like the shoes.
The
Yes.
the hardtop looks like a Z3 or Z8 hardtop where it's
Yeah.
like awkwardly tall to support people living in
It's
it.
got a
Yeah.
roll cage in it. That's why. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
That's-
isn't that cool?
That's very cool. I like that.
With the 4 carburetors. Yeah, it's
I like cars that are
those
small
magnesium
for
wheels.
normal sized people.
There's the hoops.
oh yeah, the car. Like when you see these in real life, like you're like they made a roadster as small as possible.
Yeah.
Like it is just
Five-speed
fantastic.
box.
Yeah.
It's a dog box too. Wow.
Yeah, it was designed just for racing. Yeah, so I
That's
should have
super
noted. I should have noted that as a dog leg.
Why
but
the
yeah.
heck this has a chain drive? I do not understand. But
It's
Why not?
when Honda was first developing, it was kind of rushed to market, and they just kind of kept with it because Honda had to make a functional car, and when they did, so they just made chain drive because they knew they could make that work without having to make all this other stuff from scratch.
right.
So anyway, let's talk about Vietnam.
Yeah, just before I get
what?
to my interesting engineering, so I actually read this briefly, and it looks like they're in talks with Formula One to get a circuit in Hanoi.
That's awesome.
Yeah, look at this. It's like we're delighted to announce
That
that
was a-
Hanoi will host Formula One Grand Prix.
That's a weird way
But
to
it
say
sounds like-
Hanoi.
I don't know how to say it. Sorry.
That's Hanoi.
How do you say it?
Hanoi.
Hanoi.
Yeah, Hanoi.
Sure. There you go. I'm not Vietnamese. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not either.
When
All my whole
That's
experience with
some-
Hanoi, is that how you say it? is
Yeah.
Top Gear, where they did the scooters,
Yeah.
which was amazing. But I would love to visit Vietnam. I don't have a reason to right now, but like
I do.
F1.
I want a seat, or I want a suit, and I want to buy
Is it a fully silk suit?
yes, and I want to drive a Honda Cub.
Okay, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's I want to go.
How
to
many
Vietnam.
million dong is that going to cost you?
I don't even know, but I got about $20 in my pocket. I could probably do quite a bit with that.
2020. That's actually
Oh,
really
that's
soon.
really
I'll be
yeah.
curious. I would like to see like a rendering of like the circuit and where they want to put it and how that's going to be. Because I mean, it's not really. I mean, it's not really a car-friendly city just because
Yeah.
it was based around bikes and cars are so expensive there.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that.
Thank you to
But-
our
But I mean-
Twitch
Yeah,
person.
thank you for the Twitch comment. We've actually
Yeah.
never had a topic submitted via that. Normally we reserve it only for Patreon, but since it's in this case, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank
But
you.
no, in short, we are all for
Yes.
F1 coming to Vietnam. That sounds awesome.
Well, what I like about F1 is you get to see like a lot of cool countries and kind of cultures around the world, and also brings a lot of press with them.
Mm-hmm.
So the car culture and the motorhead culture of that part of the world can get a bit of a spotlight because
Right.
and that's something that I'm actually more excited about than the actual race because frankly I don't care that much about F1. But the reason
I don't
why
either,
the
but
reason
it's
why I like
motorsport.
the reason why I like F1 is because with F1 there's always like a tribe of press people that are with them that between race day and stuff
Yeah.
go out and take a look at local car culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
No, I mean, it's a great thing
you
for local
learn a
car
lot.
culture,
Yeah, you
speaking.
learn a lot about what the cultures are like. Like in the Philippines, like they have a lot of really cool stuff, and in China they have like a very unique car culture. It's close to Japanese, but not quite the same.
Right.
And yeah, just a lot of that stuff you would not otherwise see. I think it's really cool. So yeah, I'm excited for that. It'd be very interesting. And yeah, again, that course being so tight and technical. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be a small course, I'm sure, but it's a lovely country.
didn't we
so-
watch a Miami Vice episode where they had F1 through Miami?
No, that wasn't F1, but that was
Welcome to Miami.
that was the Miami Grand Prix. But that,
Oh,
no,
okay.
that was
Bienvenido
that was
a Miami.
IMSA.
Okay.
That's what that was.
Will Smith,
I have.
anyone?
No.
Yeah.
I don't care.
All right, my interesting engineering. So I want to talk about. It's actually it's kind of a Patreon topic. Interesting engineering. Anyway,
Also,
so,
Patreon. Subscribe to our Patreon.
yeah, become a patron today.
and
Then you can feed us articles like that ahead of time. We can research them and
Yes.
then talk about them.
yes,
Then all will be well.
And then we'll all know what we're talking about.
Exactly. But I mean, yeah, from what I cursory read there, that's awesome. So I'm excited. But this topic, I want to talk about EVSEs.
Ooh.
And if you don't like electric cars, you just switch it
Bye.
off now. This is the last topic. But if you do or you're curious about them, EVSE stands for Electric Vehicle Support Equipment, which is the charger.
Yeah.
So when a lot of people buy an EV these days, I really don't think that they think ahead of time about charging it,
Oh no, not at all.
which is kind of a big deal if you drive more than, let's say, 30 miles a day.
Yeah, I do know my uncle. So my uncle owns a cabin out in Green Lake, Minnesota,
Okay.
which is like, I mean, he's biked there from Eden Prairie,
Sure.
but driving an electric car that far would be kind of iffy. So he like installed a charging port
Sure.
at his cabin.
It's
So,
probably
like,
level 2.
yeah, I'm not quite sure. I
If
didn't.
there's any installation, it's at least a level 2 of some
but
sort.
it's so funny. Just like you go up to the cabin, then all of a sudden there's a Tesla charging station. It's like, oh, okay.
And I kind of have a beef with the people that put in Tesla chargers because those, in a situation like that, it's called their destination charger, which is like
Okay.
a 40 to 70 amp, so like 2 times a clothes dryer in output.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it runs on 220. Like you
Yeah.
could put it on a beefy welder outlet, no problem. But the problem is only Teslas can charge on those. Whereas if you put in what's called a J1772, which is the SAE like name for this connector, which is on every other EV, Teslas can also use it, same
Okay.
amount of power. I just don't
That's
understand
good to
why
know.
people.
I don't know.
It
like,
might-
I
it's
mean,
probably
I saw
the
it.
Gotta be
J1
subsidized
I
or
haven't.
something.
I haven't been up there in a
Okay.
while because of
Sure.
other reasons, but when I saw it, I think it was a. I don't know if it was Tesla specific. but-
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if it didn't like say Tesla on it,
Yeah.
it's probably not.
But it was cool to see because that was right when Teslas first started like kind of arriving to
probably
the people.
2012 or something.
And it was like mind blowing for me because there's no other electric cars really available that
Right.
I was aware of. I was just like the EV scene was just
The
kind of becoming
landscape was
popular.
pretty, slim in 2012.
Yeah,
So
it would have been a little bit.
We
Farther
also
after
we have one topic after this. I just thought about that.
we do.
Yes, we do.
Oh, sorry.
It's
Well,
okay.
But
that's
continue
fine.
on. I think it's interesting that like some people think about it,
And
but
I
they
mean,
really only think
there's a
about
lot of
it-
people that don't drive more than 30 miles a day,
Yeah.
so like they could charge it on a regular, wall outlet, a 20 amp wall outlet, which is what most of these cars come with. They come with the emergency charger.
Yeah.
The first 3 months I had my car, that's how I charged it, and I made do, but I also couldn't do like, 100 miles
Yeah.
a day with the thing. So when you're buying a modern EV, I mean, most of them now have that J1772, which is rated for 110 or 240 volts.
Okay.
And it's all regulated inside the car. So how much
That's
power you can charge with is actually the charger's in the car. The only thing that you're plugging into is literally just a
extension cord.
little tiny microchip that talks to the car, figures out how much power it's allowed to use, and then just click the relay on to start feeding the electric garden hose into
That's
this thing.
really cool to know.
All right, so like sometimes if it's raining or something and I plug mine in, it'll say 120 volts. So I gotta unplug it and plug it back in because it didn't seat right.
Yeah.
Which seems a little dumb, but I think it just defaults to the safest option. But
Yeah.
if you're driving more than 30 miles a day and you buy an EV and you intend to charge at home, you really do need 220. So you need access to a dryer outlet, you need access to your electrical panel. One of the two, you're going to have
Which
to pay an
should
electrician.
be easy enough.
Most of the time it is. I mean, the outlets are pretty standard. It's not that much to have an electrician put another outlet in, especially if
And
it's close to your
a
car.
lot of people's like washing machines nowadays are close to their garage.
I would think so. And I mean, a lot of people have
Oh, relatively. Yeah.
in modern homes, I
Built in
mean, the panels are
garages.
usually in the garage,
Yeah.
which is perfect. I mean, all you gotta do is like run like 12 inches of wire and a breaker,
Yeah.
and you're done. Like you don't even technically have to hire an electrician if you don't want to, but it's probably smart.
Yeah.
but I
Unless you
mean-
want to turn yourself into a cadaver,
Right.
a smoking
I mean,
cadaver
I
on the
did
other
it
side of
because
the
I
room.
kind of know what I'm doing with it, but like it's fine. But I mean, there's a couple different amperage outputs of these level 2 chargers. So a standard wall outlet one, the emergency charger, is a 15 amp, 120 volt. The most basic level 2 you can get, which is double the speed, is a 15 amp, 240. Most of the crappier low range EVs like mine are 30 amp level 2, so
Okay.
like 4 or 5 times faster than a regular wall outlet.
How much kilowatt hours?
This is just kilowatts.
Okay.
Batteries are kilowatt hours, so my car is 6.72 kilowatts.
Okay.
A regular wall outlet is 1.5 kilowatts, and it's about 3 kilowatts for the crappy level 2 chargers. But like a BMW i3, a Chevy Bolt, those cars that have the J1772, but they also have the 2 ports above for DC fast charging,
Oh.
you can't really take advantage of that at home because it
Yeah.
requires a massive power converter on site to convert,
Yeah.
transformer voltage down to, well, it's actually upping the voltage but converting it to DC,
Yeah.
and just a ton of amps.
Interesting.
So those can take up to 150 kilowatts,
Oh my gosh.
which is, I don't know the math offhand, but it turns your
lot.
5-hour charge time into like a 40-minute charge time, something like
That's
that.
crazy.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So, but that's also really hard on the batteries. So
Yeah.
if you don't need
Oh,
it,
really?
you shouldn't use
Those
it.
aren't good on the battery.
No, shocking, right?
Oh, weird.
Putting
shocking.
tons and tons of heat into the battery. I mean, most of these cars are managed, but so Tesla, if you go to one of their superchargers, it's a DC station.
Okay. So you
So-
don't want to use those all the time.
No, if you can avoid it. And I mean, there have been studies about people that have got like limousine services and they do nothing but supercharge their Teslas, and like the degradation actually isn't that bad.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So it's not significantly different, but if you want the best life out of your EV, honestly, you should use the regular wall outlet
So
charger.
it's like doing regular oil interval changes versus, skipping a few hundred miles.
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a very minimally different result, but I mean, it is worse.
It's
for your
it's
equipment.
it's more like when you're charging. It's like not charging a car battery. If you're always jump starting the battery, you're
Right.
gonna kill it super fast.
Yeah, if you let it die and then jump start it.
If your car, if you put on a trickle charger, if it dies, then it's gonna last a lot longer. Anyway, what I want to do, just because this is very topical, and next episode we're crazy busy.
Sure.
Let's talk about Bizarro's latest Facebook status.
Okay.
You have that up on the screen, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me pop open the stream, and then I will move over to busy.
Yes.
Hello.
Fascistas.
It
Look at
says,
that cute little face.
This is hashtag what am I doing? Hashtag Toyota MR2.
What am I doing?
Hashtag project. And yes, I read all that in Biz Years of Hose accent when I was taking a poo last night and read this. That's gonna be really cool. I'm sure he will probably make 1,000 horsepower turbocharging something. That top
Describing
comment,
to our not Twitch listeners, it's a cute little
AW11.
red AW11
First gen
That's
MR2.
really dusty.
and it's got the original California plate on it too, which is very interesting.
And
also,
That's a really nice
I
looking one.
really want Biz Zahoa to keep that plate because I think it's rad. It'll probably debut at Radwood like in a week or two or something. I don't know, probably. He does weird stuff like that. But
I spent long nights at the shop developing a new cylinder head design that uses 6 combustion strokes to get 10,000 horsepower.
yeah,
What?
that's it's
But
like,
we're excited about it.
yeah, I'm very excited about it. I'm always been a fan of Biz Zahoa. So,
Busy's great.
but yeah, no, that's gonna be really tight. I like this top comment. Antonio Valvidia said 1,100 horsepower 4AG. It spins 11,000 RPM.
Do
Like,
it busy.
Yeah, do it busy. Like an entirely attainable amount of RPM for a 4AGE, but like
The
20
power,
to,
no.
yeah, 20 to 1 compression, not like E85. It's just something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, you need a atmospheric modification device to
I
hit that.
really want Busy to start. Maybe, he's probably gonna put a K series in it.
I was gonna
I'm
say,
sure.
I hope he puts a K in it.
No,
but
actually, what I really hope for, I really hope he
solo type
starts.
4, it'd be cool.
No, I was say I hope he starts like doing support for like older Japanese cars. So if he uses this as like a development pig for the 4AG,
A slam pig?
yeah, a slam pig. As a development platform for like doing 4AG stuff, that'd be really cool. But yeah, probably he's gonna do a K24, make it do wheelies, and it's just be ridiculous. And I'm
God,
whatever
an
he's gonna
MR2
do,
with any sort of power is scary.
they're really fun.
They are a lot of fun. Like
yeah.
third gens with the 2GR 3.5 V6s are just nutty.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be really cool. I'm very excited.
Does this make you miss your MR2?
Yeah.
Of course it does.
I-
His reaction alone made it very clear because it's like Busy, who he loves. It's
Yeah.
AW11s,
Yeah.
which he loves.
Burgers know me ever since I figured out what an AW11 was. I fell in love with that car.
The
I'm just
thing
imagining-
is just a cheese grater on wheels. Of course you love it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with AW11, the reason I had to get rid of mine is I do not regret getting rid of that because
It was owned by
yeah,
an
it,
interesting
it,
individual.
it was not well cared for, and it's like it was a really cool car, like with rose-colored glasses on. It was really tight, but it's just like didn't have a parking brake. All the stuff for a parking brake. The entire system was removed for some reason. Didn't have a radio in it. It had a bunch of like just small niggly little problems, and then like it needed suspension work. It's just like it's one of those cars where it would have been really cool, but I would have been forever upside down on it, And
Yeah. I mean, it was a
and
reasonably
you only
clean-looking
paid
body, but
$500 for it. So
Yeah,
that's
I've-
saying a lot.
$500, and I traded it for a Subaru and a girlfriend, so I'm okay with that.
That's fair.
So
I haven't
was a
done
good-
anything like that just yet. But
It was a good combination.
do you guys
um,
notice that E30 sitting down there?
Yeah, I like.
Yes.
I paid $100 for that yesterday.
Really?
Yay.
Yeah.
I thought that was. I just thought that was Corey's.
No.
That's
It's
great.
not the
Same
red
color.
slut?
Mm-mm.
Where did you find a $100 E30?
It came to me.
That's
He
insane.
was like, "Do you want an E30?" I'm like, "No." It's like $100. I'm like, "Is it a manual?" Like, "Yeah." I'm like, fine, I'll take it.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I
it's
love-
actually David Nor's old car.
No shit.
Yeah, the
Oh my
thing has
God.
been through the ringer clearly, but it is David Nor's old car.
That's really funny.
awesome.
I know.
Yeah, that's really cool. Hopefully that.
I'm gonna part it out. It's really rough.
How rusty is it?
Underneath, really bad. The body is actually pretty nice.
Damn it.
It'd be a good drift car, parts car, but that's about it.
That's a bummer. Oh well.
Anyway,
$100 well spent.
yeah, definitely.
What I say
Plate
is,
color on the back is worth that.
let us know what you think Biz Zahoa is going to do with his AW11.
Yeah,
that's
seriously.
gonna be our bombshell. Talk to us. Let us know. Patreon or find us on Facebook. However, Patreon will be the way for you to actually get that on the air.
For sure.
John, you can come take some parts off it. It's fine.
Yes.
And yes, John can get parts.
And to our Twitch viewers, hang around. We'll be starting the new episode in about
Yes.
5 or 10 minutes.
10.
Depends on if we get
10 to
snacks.
15. Yeah.
Fine, 10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15. Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you on Wednesday if you're not on Twitch.
Yep, we'll catch you guys Wednesday for episode 59.